All right, first and foremost, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, men that taught us this truth. Honestly, I can teach you the truth with sincerity, putting your lives on the line, and honest and blessings to the house of Israel that's scattered throughout all nations to confuse their faces. All right, peace be on you. Today we're going to go into this topic, this discourse on putting your lives on the line for the truth. You know, for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua's sake. Because the time is going to come where persecution is going to arise. We're going to be persecuted for serving the Lord. We're going to be persecuted for not taking that RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. We're going to be persecuted for not conforming to the New World Order. And we're going to get the scriptures.
Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 28. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4, verse 28. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee.
So we're supposed to strive unto the truth for unto death, man. Strive means to fight. You know? Every time I speak to the brothers, I'm fighting, man. I'm fighting to remain spiritual, I'm fighting to remain balanced, I'm fighting to serve the Lord, man. Because this matrix, this damn illusion, you know, can get you caught up in trapped. Because the devil rules over this world, Esau rules over this world, darkness rules over this world, and we're in it. We're in the darkness. We're in the this world. We're in Esau's captivity, and there's many snares and nets to make us fall out of this truth, fall out of this faith. You know, when the scriptures say, "Strive unto the truth, unto death," meaning there's going to be points in this truth where we're going to face life or death, man. And we got to trust solely and believe upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, you know, in those times when we face life and death. So read it one more time, brother.
Strive for the truth. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee.
And the Lord shall fight for thee. And now I'm going to get into an example of our forefathers, our ancestors, people that served the Lord, because this is not just a book, a fairy tale, or fable. This is reality. These were actual people that lived this. All right? They strived unto the truth, unto death, and the Lord fought for them. Yeah, start from the top. And there's many accounts of men of the Lord facing life and death, and the Lord delivered them, or the Lord fought for them.
Daniel chapter 3. Nebuchadnezzar, the king made an image of gold, whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set
Nebuchadnezzar was the king of Babylon, a Hamite. All right,
he set it up in the plain of Dora, in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent together the princes, the governors and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the province, to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. Then the princes, the governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of province were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald cried aloud, "To you it is command, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, skullbutt, and psaltery, the climber, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image."
Now, don't that sound familiar? It says all languages, peoples, and tongues. I'm going to get a quick scripture, because like I said, the persecution is coming.
That's right.
The time is coming where we're going to be faced with taking that RFID chip or dying. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hands and their foreheads, So just like in the time of Nebuchadnezzar, he made all people that was his slaves, his captives, all right, to come worship that image. The so-called white man, which is Esau according to the Bible, is going to make all nations, kings, tribes, and people going to take that RFID chip or die.
That Nebuchadnezzar, the king, has set up, and whoso falleth not down and worship shall same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace.
Basically, whoever they worship that golden image, they was going to be cast into the furnace of fire, man. You was going to be put to death. Just like whoever don't take this RFID chip by the so-called white man, you're going to be put to death. But guess what? The men of the Lord have to strive onto the truth, even onto death. And the Lord is going to fight for us. Read on.
Therefore, at the time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, scorbutt, and psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said to the king of Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree, and that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, scorbutt, psaltery, and the clamor, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso falleth not down and worship that he should be cast unto the midst of a burning fiery furnace.
Just like I said, you might have persecutors. Just like back then during the time of Nebuchadnezzar, there's no new thing under the sun. Right. You're going to have people that's going to accuse us for not taking that chip. Yo, there's people still living without the chip. And they're going to bring us before counselors and judges to be persecuted and judged.
There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon.
And who's the Jews? The Israelites, which consist of the so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians, and indigenous people of North Central South America.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. These
men, O king, have not regarded thee. Just like the men of the Lord today ain't going to regard Esau by taking that mark of the beast, the RFID chip. Go ahead.
They serve not the gods, not worship the golden image, which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, It is true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now, if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, scorbutt, and psaltery, and the clamor, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which have made. Well, but if you worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that power that shall deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king of Nebuchadnezzar, We are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God, our thy power, whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not be known unto thee, O king, we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
That's right. Hey, this is Acts chapter 5, verse 30. The God of our Father, verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, We ought to obey the Most High rather than man. Because Nebuchadnezzar was trying to make the Israelites, which the Israelites has a covenant with Yahweh, that they're going to serve him and him only. And they ain't going to worship no images or no idols or no gods of the other nations. Yeah. So it says, then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. All right. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego had this same, showing you that the men of the Lord is always on one accord. We ought to obey the Most High rather than men. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego wasn't going to worship the gods of the nations. They wasn't going to worship Nebuchadnezzar. Okay? Because we still got the covenant with Yahweh. Yahweh is our power. So they didn't talk to the king any old way. But at the same time, you know, they served the Most High. They didn't turn their back on the Most High or forsake the Most High. Go ahead.
There was Nebuchadnezzar, full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should be beat, should heat the furnace 7 times, more than it was wont to be heat.
Look at that, man. Showing, yo. Listen, you got people that was being burnt regularly. But when it came to the Israelites, the men of the Lord, showing you, you know, when you go through your test of faith, it's going to be harsh, man. It's going to be to the point like, damn, do I really want... let me think twice about this, you know? He said he heated the furnace 7 times more than it was already heated. You know, just to test the faith of the men of the Lord, man. Okay.
And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Showing you when the men of the Lord go through something, it's at the highest of the high, man. So not only he heated the furnace 7 times more, he got the mightiest of warriors to bind the men of the Lord, man. To really test their faith.
This scripture goes contrary to what we have to deal with in life. Whether it be, you know, backed up on your rent, backed up on your car note, you know, having problems with your woman, your kid, if you have children. You know, this goes contrary to what we deal with in life. We go through 10 times worse than what the average person going through right now. 10 times worse. That when you start looking at other people, like, damn, you're doing so much better than me. Like, just by looking at them. Because you're going through so much hell. You know? But we have to endure to the end. We have to.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That's right. We have to endure to the end.
That's right, brother.
Because he called us to be in this truth. Through the Spirit.
That's right.
Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast unto the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound unto the midst of the burning furnace.
So the fire was so damn hot, it burned up the warriors, the mighty men that threw them in there. Yeah.
Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was stunned, and rose up in the haste and spake, and said unto his counselors, did not we cast these men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, true, O king. He answered and said, lo, I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire.
So they, oh man, strive unto the truth, unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee.
That's right, that's right.
They was walking in the fire, man. They was shielded, man. They was protected, man. Because they didn't turn their backs on Yahweh. They continued to believe and serve despite what they was facing, man. Despite what they was going through and facing, they didn't forsake or turn their backs on the Lord. So guess what? The Lord didn't turn his back on them. And he said he saw 4 men There was an extra person in there.
And I have no hurt.
They have no hurt.
And the form of the fourth is like the son of the power.
Yahweh Shah, man. Yahweh Shah. All right. So come on, man. You gotta believe, man. You gotta have faith. Showing you the men of the Lord going to go through days 10 times worse, like the brother said. But you gotta still believe.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High, come forth and come higher. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. And the princes, governors, and captains, and the king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these men, upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was a hair of their heads seen.
And what's that symbolic for, man? What are we going through today? The infernal fire of affliction, man. The hell that we going through today. Yeah, we being purified, but we unscathed, man. The men of the Lord are unscathed by all the hell that we're going through, man. Come on, man. You gotta have faith in this thing, man.
That's right.
This is the faith builders. When we go through our hell, you gotta remember these stories are old, because the things are written aforetime are written for our learning. Yeah.
Neither were their coats changed,
Neither were their coats, neither their clothing was burnt. Go ahead.
nor the smell of fire had passed.
They didn't even smell like fire. Go ahead.
Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the power of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who have sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word and yield their bodies.
That's right.
That they might not serve nor worship any god.
There you go. Okay.
Except their own God.
There you go.
Therefore, make a decree that every people, nation, and language which speak anything amiss against the power of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill.
And that's going to happen again, man. But this time, we're going to have that rod of iron and force you to worship our power. You're going to have heathens that are going to bow down to the power, but then a lot of heathens, they're going to be forced to worship our power, man. And that's how the Most High has it so. Like the scriptures say, he's going to harden their fight. He's going to harden their heart. And they durst fight. All right? Go ahead.
Because there is no other power that can be delivered after this sword. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar, the king unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. I thought it good to shew the signs of wonders that the high power hath wrought toward me. How great are his signs, and how mighty are his wonders. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is from generation to generation.
Now, that's it, right?
Yeah.
Chapter 3.
Yeah, I read it.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's the end of chapter 3, man. Hey, with that, I hope you pray you was edified, man. Strive on to the truth, on to death. That was an example through the scriptures. Have faith, man, in a time of tribulation, in a time of calamity. Hey, hope you brothers was edified. We're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, for putting the Spirit upon us for doing this lesson. Until next time, we say Shalom.
Shalom.